Let's go to the magic whiteboard and see what we got going on this week. Finally got our battery box in. We're going to have to get that mounted. Finish the roll pan. Do the body work, cab and box. We got our wiper motor in finally. We're going to have to fit that in. We got to do something with the headliner this week. Get it fit in there so we don't have to get in and out of this thing a million times after it's painted. And do a whole lot of sanding. Let's get to it. I ended up bending the tabs over and drilling them so we could go through the firewall with it. They sent these brackets. We're just going to hook on the battery here, go through the firewall and bolt them down so that we get a good solid hold on the battery. I'll get these drilled out, get it mounted in there, then we'll pull it back off so we can finish body work on this cowl. Clearances are going to be very tight in here, so I think maybe depending on how this turns out with the steering column, going with manual brakes as opposed to putting the master cylinder under the floor. Still thinking about that. Alright, so went ahead and got this other piece on, got them both welded in, and got a little filler on it. You can now get a better idea of, you know, what I was talking about, trying to fill in the back sides of the fender so that when you look at the back of the truck, you know, you can't see inside the fenders. I'm still not sure whether we're going to put a small bumper on the back or not. I really don't want to, but depending on what it looks like when we get it out here, it's kind of hard to see. It's really cramped in here. But once we get it outside, we'll get a better idea. There won't be nothing to put one on afterwards. A lot of body work here today. Spreading out a lot of mud. Everything's starting to look pretty good. All right, so we're taking a break from all the body work. We got our new wiper motor in. Here's the old one that came out, the old vacuum style. Here's the new one. This one actually has an on and off switch, so you could actually turn it on and off from the visor position. But I'm going to use a dash controlled switch, so we'll just set that in the on position when we install it. You can see the difference in the stem. This one's quite a bit longer, so what we got to do is we got to take this apart, cut the stem down so she'll fit up in the truck and work properly. So we're going to get going on that. Also, I made a rookie mistake on the console. I was so concerned about making sure the radio fits in the shroud that I forgot about the depth. So you can see the mark I've got here. This is how we got to build this out so the radio sits in there like that. So we're going to cover this all in with fiberglass and just kind of tweak it a little bit. It's a rookie mistake, but you know what, hey, at least it's not a huge mistake. It's something we could actually fix. We're going to get on this and repair this before we go messing with the headliner. So let's get to it. I don't know if I told you guys, but I got this wiper motor from Speedway. It's just a universal hot rod type. So it was less than $100. I want to say like $70 with shipping. So what we got to do here is we got to take this cover off according to the directions, and you can pull the shaft out, and we'll go ahead and cut them down. I'll make a little mark here about how long the shaft has to stick above this threaded rod. It would have to be cut. There. So as you can see, not really much to it. The little lever there fits right in that hole. So I guess what we got to do, get the shaft out so we can cut it down. It slides right out of there. So I'm just going to cut this with a hacksaw, and then we'll take a file and file down the burrs. Alright, so we got our piece cut down. I took a file, filed off the little burrs that were on there. And this nut that has to go on to secure it to the cab. Just like that. So now that we got that cut, we can take this pivot shaft here, measure how far we have to stick out. I made a mark there. Got to stick out just about a ½ inch. So wherever we cut this, we'll cut it a ½ inch longer. Get a ½ inch mark on here. Right about there. Mark right there. Alright, so we went and got our shaft cut. Going to take the burrs off of it. Okay, so there it is. We've got the motor in. I think it's going to work out fine out here. The housing sticks out quite a bit farther than the old one. You can see the difference in size. But the only way to find out really is to put this, put the console up in there and see what we got. So let me get that. Okay, so there it is. I think it's going to work. The housing does stick out quite a bit, but luckily there's a lot of room back here. So I think that's going to work out well. That does have the on and off switch, and what I'll do is I'll just leave that in the on position and we wire it down to our switch on the dash. So that's all set. So I'm glad it worked out well, and we'll get that back out of here and we'll just keep going forward. All right, so we got our wiper motor done. That's going to fit perfectly with our new console. We got our battery box in. We can pull that back off. We got sand. Man, I've been putting it off. You know I have. We're going to spray this thing out next week, so I got to get the sand in, and man, I'm putting it off. I know I am, but let's get to it. All right, we got our box unbolted, slid back. Ran into another issue. When they fabricated this box, they welded this tubing in here to mount the box to. So it's going to be very difficult to get in behind there and sand. And definitely going to be hard to get the spray gun in there and paint it. But it is what it is. I guess we have to do the best we can. Guess I can't put it off any longer. Got to start sanding. Maybe y'all wondering why I'm body working these fenders on the truck. It's just a lot easier for me because I don't have all those fancy stands and everything that we've got. once we get these to where they need to be, we're pretty close. We'll pop them off the truck and then we'll go to finishing up all the rest of the sanding, and hopefully we can get the spray gun out. All right, after the first round of sanding, looks like we got a lot more sanding to do, but we're gonna have to sling a little bit more mud. There's just a few spots that need attention, so I'll get on that. All right, let's see how we did this week. We got our battery box in. We finished up the roll pan, continuing body work. We got our wiper motor cut down, fit in there. I think it's gonna work out great. We had to rework the console a little bit because of a mistake on my part, but no big deal. We got it all taken care of. I'm gonna go ahead and fit that headliner in just before we shoot it. Next week, the way Ford says, the paint. Hopefully we are, barring any unforeseen problems that may arise, and you know that can happen. We're busting out the spray gun. So if you're digging the videos, hit that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. Share the video maybe. But until next week, take it easy, man.